Welcome back to the channel, guys. Tool reviews of tools I use. Today I'm going to be taking you through my electrical toolbox that I use for carrying out simple electrical tasks, basic repairs, things like that. So this is a Tough Stuff toolbox. It's made by SAG. Very simple toolbox, nothing special. It's got these little accessory holders or little parts bins in the top. So I carry a bunch of screws. These screws are just for light switches and plug sockets and things like that, and I can extend them or shorten them if need be. So I carry a whole selection of those. I carry a whole selection of fuses, absolutely loads of them. A whole load more up here as well. I've got a whole load of grommets, just for like electrical back boxes and things. This is just a little junk drawer. It's got like plug screws and stuff like that. I've got cable clips. These are really super small ones in here. And I've got a fluorescent light starter in there. On this side, just carry a bunch of terminal strips. Whole load of them, different sizes. And I've got some really extra long, those screws. Just carry with a little slotted end on it. I've got some more cable clips. These ones are the flat ones, and I've got the little round ones. These ones are built up over time. That's the outside of the box. So inside, it's just got a little tray. Got a Stanley knife. If you're interested in buying a utility knife, you're not sure what to get, then check out my reviews. I've got some review on some really heavy duty utility knives. You're bound to find something that you like. This is just a Stanley model, old school one. It serves this box really well. Got a whole load of screwdrivers. All my screwdrivers are made by CK. I carry slotted Phillips ones all in here. All the different types you can get, all different sizes. You'll see this one's a little bit different to the handles of the other one. All of these just came as a set. This one's just a little bit different because I managed to find this one up in a loft that I was working in. It was just under a little bit of insulation. And you often find that you just find these random tools that have just been left behind by other people. It's just a little stroke of luck. It was one of these. So a nice little Phillips screwdriver there. I've got these pliers here. These little small pliers are really handy for electrical work. They're just really cheap. They become almost like an extension of your hand, these things. I think they're aimed towards jewelers and people that work with small items like that. But they're really handy just for poking wires in places and stuff. Take up virtually no space. The only thing I don't rate is these cutters. These are pretty rubbish. For most tasks, but for cutting little bits of solder and stuff like that, they do the job. I like these bent needle nose a lot. A little bit of leftover earthing cable, earthing wire. We've got a whole load more fuses, a few more terminal strips. Got some of these electrical testing screwdrivers. I've never really liked the idea of these. I don't use them for what they're intended for, of putting your finger on the end and testing. I've never really liked that. So, but I tend to just use them as just little kind of precision screwdrivers. They fit things like terminal strips really nicely. So yeah, that's why they stay in there. Got another screwdriver here. This one's a Draper one. It's got a little wire stripper there. It's quite handy to have, but I use this really as just a beta one. It's just a nice size slotted. This one here, this is a little Craftsman one, and this only stays in here for one reason, because it reminds me of a real near-death experience where you can see that I touched a main with it, thought it was off, and it just exploded. So I keep that in there as purely as a reminder. That might even just sit just there on the handle from now on, so every time I open this box I remember to play it a little bit safer. But yeah, that lives in there still. This thing here, this is if you've got any dodgy threads on like a light switch or a socket or anything like that, you can recut the thread just if you see that up close, and you can basically fix the thread so that you can get the screws back in properly. And I've come across that a few times. Really, really handy little tool to have. This one's made by CK. If you want to know if something's live or not, you can press this up against the cable. It doesn't even have to touch sometimes, and you get a nice light up reading from it. It's even got a little torch on the end. But as soon as that goes up to something, it just makes a noise and shows up red, and you can tell if it's live. I always test it on something live before I turn it off, and then you know it's going to work. It's yeah, only a cheapo one, but it serves me really well. Little CK like electrician's knife. It's good for stripping wires and random jobs. A little bit redundant because I've got the Stanley knife there, but it does the job. I've got a couple of these things. I seem to save these whenever I get lights and stuff like that. I tend to use my own rule plugs, my own screws, but it's just handy just to keep these in here sometimes. I've got a little bit of electrical tape, and I've got a little brush here just for cleaning bits down from working on it. Nice and compact, fits in everywhere. Little pencil. And just lots of other junk. And I've got a Sharpie marker. I'm going to take this opportunity to just give this box a little bit of a clear out of all the junk that goes in there. That's the tray sorted. I've got a multimeter that it would be really nice to actually keep in this section, but unfortunately I just can't take enough stuff out to actually be able to fit this in. It's just never really worked like that, so I just tend to keep this on top of the box ready to go. I've got a CK wire stripper. These are absolutely brilliant. I love these things. Lots of other options and tools and things on it, but I just use this mainly for wire stripping. I'll try and do a little demo here for you. So you can set the depth just using this little plastic thing, and then when I put this up to it, you see that bit bites down. Sometimes I have to give that a little bit of a push depending on the size of the cable, but once you squeeze it, you get a nice clean strip. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's such a labour saving device, saves you so much time. Really nice tool. I'll do a separate review on these sometime, but yeah, this one's made by CK again. Just like it's just left over from a job, and it's just earthing. It's like a sheath just to go over individual wires and stuff. I've got tons of that. And I've got a set of combination pliers. These are really nice. You can grip things, you twist things. Got really nice sharp teeth. Really good cutting edge on it. And again, they're insulated. These are a really nice set of needle nose pliers. You see how skinny those needle noses are on them. Just lets you get into all sorts of little tight spaces. Absolutely brilliant. These are, again, CK. I keep this big flathead screwdriver just in there because it doesn't fit in the top tray, but yeah, another one. This was the first little wire stripper I got. So I remember my dad used to have one exactly like this when I was younger, so this was the first one I got. It doesn't even compare to this one in my opinion. I love these things. Compared to this, the first few jobs I did with it, I broke the little screw on there, and I ended up just fixing it just by finding an old one, an old bolt, and just putting it through, and it works perfectly now. Yeah, I keep that in there just in case the other one breaks and vice versa. Really nice set of CK snips. Really good to have. Keep this little cheapo one. Just a little bit of redundancy really, but just in case. If all else fails, I've got something in there. And this just sits flat on the bottom of the box. Couple more of these tweezers. As I said, they came in a set really cheap. I can use the pointed ones a lot. These are good for just like pulling little staples out or something like that. But the main ones are these tweezers like this. Got a little selection of tapes, and I've got a bunch of cable ties, some more cable clips in there, different sizes, and I've got some more fuses just laying at the bottom. A few more screws, and a load more tapes in there. Because when I'm doing electrical jobs, I just want to pick up one little box and have everything I need pretty much. So I don't necessarily have to keep all the materials in there, but it just seems to work a little bit better. I've got a little socket tester, really handy. Even if you're not doing electrical work, even just as a homeowner, it's really nice to be able to check your sockets like that. And it'll just yeah, give you, hopefully help you troubleshoot and find any issues. Just getting into utilities boxes. Got this, got all the different heads on it. Ideal. This is a really nice cable cutter. It just cuts through things like butter. Really, really good. Again, by CK. Yeah, there you go. There's the label. Really nice. Cuts through just about anything I ever need to cut. Really strong. It's got to be about 8 inches or something. Just a little user guide for my multimeter. I'm no expert on it. It's nice to have a little bit of information if I need it. This is probably the most useless tool I've ever bought out for myself. I shouldn't have bought it, but it was just an impulse buy. But it's so I can lock out and tag out boxes if I needed to. I don't need to. Yeah, it's just one of those things I bought and just got carried away with myself. That is it. That is everything in the box. So yeah, I'm going to give it a good little tidy up after this video, and I'm going to see if I can actually buy a slightly different box so that I can fit my multimeter. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the content, check out my other videos, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.